Hello and welcome to the Ride It Out podcast. We finally have a name. How about that, Webby?
Fantastic. About time, eh?
Ride It Out. There you go. This is the official podcast of Summernats, the world's wildest car festival. My name's Jay Benz and I'm here with, obviously, Owen Webb, a.k.a. Webby. What's happening, mate?
I had another good week, and I've done some great interviews with a couple of the top US car builders this week.
Yeah, okay. Who?
Well, I had a chat with Troy Trepanier and the Ring brothers. And I'm sure most people listen to this would know those guys. So we're going to do a little bit of a sneak peek in next week's podcast with Troy. And then we're actually going to do a full interview on the following Thursday night. So Thursday week, you get the full interview with Troy Trepanier, and the following week with the Ring brothers. So, yeah, man, looking forward to that.
Yeah, well, I bet you enjoyed that as much as probably, those guys as well.
Yeah, it was good, and they're not so much in lockdown. They're all pretty busy over there, but hey, they really enjoyed getting out with their customers and letting them know what's going on.
Yeah, sweet. Well, we've got a mad show coming for you today, obviously. Before that, though, we want you to get busy early in the comments for your chance to win some Summernats season passes and a Street Machine merch pack, which will be given away right after Marv's always epic rant. Winners will be chosen randomly from the YouTube comments, so please get busy in there, typing away. For tonight's show, we've had to take extra precautions by installing a dump button, which means we've got Burnout royalty on board. Now, first up, we had to set it up, mate. You got the dump button there, haven't you, Webby?
Yeah, I have, mate. It's big. You should see the size of it.
I bet. First up, we've got perennial third-place getter, but now Burnout master winner, Rick Fuller. We also have Burnout crowd favourite, Lynchy, together with six-cylinder staunch Burnout master, Matt Watts. All right, after that, Rick and Lynchy will battle it out in the mad quiz to see who is the king of that. And then after that, we're going to cut to some of the stuff that Webby and I normally cut to. But before that, we're going to cut to a skid break and we'll be back with Lynchy and Matt right after this.
Awesome.
Skid ad. This skid ad is brought to you by Street Machine.
Oh, yeah.
Now it's all about 10. Trying to boil it down to one. Who's going to be the best, essentially, in the world of burnouts? And, well, it's been this man before. Is it going to be him again? Andrew Poole and Eyeblown.
Well, only time will tell. We've got still most of the field to run.
Oh, geez, in a really tight spot here, Jace. He might have just scraped the wall.
I think you're right. I think he grabbed it right there on the tail. So
Really
qualified for the Burnout Masters at his home event up at Tropical Meltdown in Cairns in late July 2018. And that rear touch, it was only a brush, in fact. It still counts as -10 now. But he's trying.
Shame, because smoke scores have been strong. Any deductions today will hurt.
We've spoken so often about the fact that it's not about what you do right, it's about what you do wrong. And that's what can win or lose you a crown like the Burnout Masters.
All right, Mad, we're back. Obviously, we're not here with Lynchy and Matt yet. We actually, obviously, Rick's, he's come third quite a few times, but this year he really did the lot. He took out both competitions, winning first place. Rick, how did that feel?
It was good, mate. Finally get past that third spot that I'm so good at that event.
Yeah, that was one of my questions there, but we'll get on to that in a minute. So, yeah, thanks, Rick, for joining us here. So, I know you're in the building game, so I want to know how you firstly got into cars.
My uncles have always been into cars and lived on a farm and stuff. So, in the early days, as soon as I could drive, it's been fun going sideways and just messing around.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that was cars. And when did you first get into burnouts?
Burnouts was probably, 12 years ago. One of my mates used to go to Summernats and convinced me to go. So I had just a normal street car and put a spool in it and then took that, and the rest is history.
Yeah, fantastic. So what was your first year you went to Summernats?
I reckon the first year I was only probably 20 or something just to watch.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
18 years ago, just to watch as a spectator. First year I got into the wild card, which I didn't even know what it was, to be honest. So as soon as we got into that, that was probably 7 years ago. That was my first Summernats.
Yeah, as a Burnout or first one.
Yeah. So I've only gone in the Masters or in the wildcard. I've never been otherwise.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah. So you've had LS1 for quite a few years. I've been watching that on the circuit. And so what's the story when that now you've got the Ute full on as well?
Yeah, well, it seems that we were really struggling to get past the old third with the VK.
Yeah.
So, and just I like building cars, even though I'm not doing it myself. I like watching it come together. So built something different, and it's done well from its first time out all the way through to now.
Yeah, you debuted that last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, at last year's Phil Curzon show.
Yeah, right. I guess that's run an LS1 as well.
Yeah, it's LS based. It's not LS1, but it's LS based.
LS based, yeah.
Which one do you like? Which one is your favourite? I guess it's your.
Oh, the VK is still my favourite, to be honest. I still like driving that better. They're still both fun. I could have fun in a Ford Laser on a dirt track with a handbrake working. Like, it doesn't matter what it is, but they've both got their pros and cons.
Yeah,
mad.
Are you going to continue to campaign both cars?
I will we'll see how the coronavirus goes. Yeah, we need money, so as long as get the people in the display homes buying houses, yeah, we'll keep going.
Mate, I think you're the only person to win both the Summernats Burnout Champs and the Masters in the same event. Just tell us, how did that feel? That's pretty bad. Yeah,
it was good. It probably helped driving the VK first and being really pumped from that, and then jumping straight into the Masters in the other car. You're up and about and it sort of happy, so you just keep it going.
Yeah, a little bit like Matty James year before when he had both the cars in the Masters, and yeah, he's really pumped. So
yeah, that's it. Once you're up there, it takes a bit to come back down. So just keep it rolling.
Mate, we're going to have a look at your winning Masters skid. So Jack, roll that video.
With his LS1, here comes full on Rick Fuller. Just sitting there a little bit longer than Pagey, building that smoke up. But nice speed as he throws it into the burnout pad, and once again going for the chute. Everyone is doing the one donut and pushing it down that chute. But he is not going all the way. He's going to turn around early. I think some way with the breeze coming back towards the start line, you can really get lost in that smoke very early.
Full On is in much nicer voice today. And what I mean by that is that yesterday it was surging. He didn't seem like he had good fuel pressure, but today Full On is on song. There's no doubt about it. And Rick Fuller demonstrating why he wants to be better than number 3 here in 2020. It will be heartbreaking for this man if he records a 3rd place for 4 years in a row.
How horizontal were the butterflies on that thing? They are absolutely horizontal. That foot is hard against the firewall. I reckon he's pushing that through the firewall right now. He wants this win so bad.
Of course, late model car. Certainly have power steering on board as well, making things a little bit easier for him in this full-on BF Holden Ute. Now, not much left on those tyres. We can see that the dyer's all gone. All he's got to do is finish it off, get out, celebrate, say thank you very much, and get off to get the job done.
Yeah, the GM Motorsport LS. How good is that sounding this afternoon, like you say?
Yeah, that's awesome skid. Fantastic there. Great driving too there, Rick. So how did it finally feel to win the big one after knocking on the door for so many years?
It was a great feeling to finally get it done. Bit more money, bit more fame, bit more of this sort of stuff. But no, it was good. It was a great feeling. I've always aimed to try and get up there, and finally it's happened.
Yeah.
I guess it's now this time around. A Summernats 34 be yours to lose, mate. You're going to go out there and try and smash it again, no doubt.
Yeah, well, 100%. I'll always give it my best every time. But at least now, once you've won, I think that there's not as much pressure on yourself. So I'll probably be more relaxed. So it should be probably a little bit more fun, to be honest.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I get that, mate. How does it feel to be featured as one of the features in the Summernats Burnout game?
Yeah, that was unexpected. It's good. Just little nieces and nephews and stuff like that. I've got the game, and it's actually pretty weird seeing your own stuff on a game.
Are they beating you?
They would.
Of course. So,
Yeah.
mate, what's the future hold for Rick Fuller?
The green car is probably going to change from EFI to mechanical injection. Bit more aggressive. I know I'll campaign that for a little bit when this junk finishes, so we can actually get out and use our cars.
Yeah.
And just see how we go. I know probably this gap's probably rekindled a bit more love for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are feeling the exact same thing, and so if depending on when we can go back, but what's next for you? Summernats or anything before that?
I'll be the second we're allowed to go to something and there's an event, I'll be at it. So I've generally travelled around the country each year for the last probably 5 years to as much as I can.
Yeah.
So yeah, it'll continue.
Yeah, I've seen you in a lot of events. So yeah.
Yeah.
And you think you'll take probably LS to the next one because the other one's getting fixed up, or is that the?
Yeah, at the moment, if it started, say we could go back tomorrow, the VK will be the first car back out while the other one's getting rebuilt. But once they hit the button, as soon as it's back on, put a bit of pressure on, and the cars will get done straight away.
Yeah, mad.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Thank you for that, and well done for the big win.
Thank you very much.
We'll catch up with you, and you can wipe the floor with Lynchy in the quiz.
I'll remember next time too. When I'm walking with my video camera down the side of the lineup to move my leg from the exhaust, almost burn all the heads off my leg on your VK.
Yeah, sorry, mate.
You're all right, mate. It's a bloody mean machine. Keep it turning tyres, mate. I hope you do burnouts in it for 20 years.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Awesome.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks for coming. We're going to cut to a skid break now. We'll be back with Lynchy and Matt, definitely this time. Back soon.
Skid ad.
This skid ad is brought to you by Rare Spares.
Who doesn't love skids?
This is Tim Brown. See him blow with the big pink smoke out the back.
Oh, look at the instant smoke from Tim Brown from Bacchus Marsh. Bang, straight on the money with a plumage and a half of pink smoke just being pumped out. That was super, super close.
He's playing with fire down here against the wall, but he'll get away with it. Close. Just about knocked the rear end of that car there, but has used a lot of that pad nicely.
Again, similarly to what we saw from one Tough HG in the Burnout Championship, that pink smoke is just engulfing the thousands of fans trackside here at the moment.
The cameras are just trying to find him. There he is. He's gone all the way to the start line under a cloak of smoke at the moment.
Picked up his spot here in the Masters at the UBC, the Ultimate Burnout Challenge in Winton, back in February of last year.
He made that step up to blown injected about 2 years ago now, and did finish inside the top three at Summernats 30 a couple years ago.
Yep.
Which got him his ticket into last year's run, and has really made the most of his time in the Masters, now going back-to-back, first time in the top 10. That was big from one of Melbourne's best now, Tim Brown.
Oh, and Timmy knows it as well. Comes out number one.
I stopped and then I forgot what happened and then the tyres were off. Woo!
All right, that was mad. So we all know Lynchy. He's the most travelled burnout competitor on the planet. He's famous for tipping it in harder than anyone and always making sure there's nothing left on the table. Right, that's Lynchy's introduction. But hey, Lynchy, let's mix it up a bit, mate. You want to give us an introduction for Matt?
Oh, well, hi everyone, Andrew Lynch. I'm going to introduce Matt Watts to you tonight. He is the six-cylinder hero of the world. Recently, he's realised how good LS Corollas are and he's built one of them, but he's well known for his Blow 202, which we sometimes hint at him. It's like competing in the Special Olympics. But whatever, Matthew, you have a good time. Everyone, this is Matthew Watts.
How you going, Matt?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, mate. So how's lockdown going for you guys? Matt, we'll start with you. What's been happening, mate?
Lockdown's been bloody busy. When I'm not at work, I'm out in the shed getting stuff done and building a few LS powered vehicles just because they're the world now, apparently. That's because I want to turn some more of them blocks into aluminium scrap, because that's what I think of it.
How about yourself, Lynch?
Lockdown's treating me pretty much the same, and nothing much has changed. I'm a farmer, so everything just keeps going on as usual for me. The worst part about the whole lockdown is the pubs are shut. It's very depressing.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, I can't wait for the day. Like, I've booked in, I've told all my workers the day that the pub's open, we're having the next day off, maybe the day after.
Which sort of led me to the next question I was going to ask you guys is, Lynchy, so tell everyone sort of, if they don't know, like, what do you do for a cost? Obviously, you said farmer. What's your day sort of entail?
I will see. Yeah, I run a small farm in western Victoria, and also run a few trucks, just hay and grain sort of thing to coincide with the farm. So today, for instance, I was spraying all day in front of the cedar. We've got crop going in at the minute, which will happen for another week or so. But yeah, that's this time of year. So everything changes the whole time. But yeah, that's what I do, day in, day out.
Yeah, cool. What about yourself, Matt?
I work at a petrol refinery locally here in Geelong. So, I suppose petrol head by name and nature. That's what I do. Basically dealing with all petrol blending imports and exports and that kind of stuff. So we're one of 4 petrol refineries in the country, and hopefully we've got a long future ahead.
Yeah, totally, man, totally. Lynchy, just to go back a bit, like what was your first car, and where did your passion for cars come from?
Oh, rightio. So my first car was a HZ Premier. I've still got it. It's in it's out the front in my carport. So I got that when I was about 15. So 20 years ago, I guess. Wow, that's a long time when you say that. So my old man always wanted me to get a Statesman. I'm like, no, they're too long. They're for old people. Now I wish I had got one. But yeah, it's cool old car. And ever since I got that, I've sort of been tinkering with it and got the passion. And then I did my mechanic apprenticeship at Ford. And then, I've been on the farm for the last 10 years.
Yeah, fair play. What's so you drive the Premier much?
It seems every time I get in it, it's got a clutch, and I just seem to kick it, and so I try to stay out of it a bit because I get myself in trouble. So, but yeah, I drive it. It's a Sunday drive. You can still get around and get the milk.
No plans to turn into a skid car, obviously. No.
Oh, there is plans. One day. Right now, while it's drivable, it's hard to modify it, but I've got some plans in the works. I think I've got a few things on the go.
How about yourself, Matt? Where does all this come from for you? And also, what was your first car?
Yeah, so for myself, my mum was a massive petrol head. She probably won't admit it because she's the nicest lady you ever meet, but she was a petrol head. She always had V8 cars when we were younger. Always loved that. But a couple of Dad's mates had some hotties, and Dad back in his day had Tiranas and stuff like that. So always sort of looked at the photos of the cars that he had and been around, my uncle, my dad and his mates, and just that's what sort of kick-started it for me. Then, obviously, Mum, we used to G her up and try and get her to do burnouts everywhere, even though she didn't want to. But, my first car was the Tirana. So I got it when I was 16. I learned how to drive in it. It was my old plate car. It's my P-plate car. Then it come off the road for a little bit while I built the first hottie that went into it. And then, it went from being sort of a hottie 6 with carbies to then the blown combo after a few trips to Summernats. I decided, it's got to have a blower on it. It's got to, everything up there's got a blower on it. So it had to have a blower on it. And just kept it, I suppose, like Lynchy, my first job, I was an apprentice mechanic at the local Ford dealership. So a few of the boys were hanging a bit of crap when I started building a 6-cylinder for it. So that sort of almost fueled the drive to stay 6-cylinder. And then, it just got out of control since then. And that's why it stayed 6-cylinder, just trying to prove people wrong, really. And those cars only ever come out with 6s in them, and that's why it stayed that way. And it's been great fun. Like, along the journey, it's sort of that car wouldn't be the same car if it had an LS in it, So.
Yeah, I think it's got it seems to have quite a big following, Like, I think people really appreciate the fact that you've given, taken it the full stretch with the motor that it came with. Yeah,
well, that sort of was a bit of the drive. Like I said, when the blokes at my work used to make jokes and say, why don't you put a V8 in it? It was like, well, hang on, I want to prove you guys wrong. So the first Hottie Aspo 6 in it was, I took a few of the boys for a drive, and they were very surprised what the thing could do. So. And then, one thing led to another and ended up with a blower on it. And I'm too deep in now to change. So
Yeah, mad. Lynchy, where did all this burnout stuff come from, though? I mean, do you remember when you did your first burnout?
Oh, I can't probably say where I did my first burnout on TV because it was definitely
competitive burnout.
Competitive burnout. I remember what fueled it all was when I did get the HZ I spoke about before. It had a 308 in it, so on my Ps I wasn't allowed that. So I pulled it out and put a 253 in. So all of a sudden I had this 308 V8 sitting on the ground there with no home. So I measured it up and went to the local wreckers and just walked around all the cars at the wreckers and measured up the engine bays to see where it would fit. Anyway, it turns out a K55 Corolla, it'll fit in quite nicely without much modification. So took it back to the farm, cut everything that needed to be cut, welded everything that needed to be welded, and took her for a spin out the road. Very first night, had 4 up with me mates, rolled it onto its roof. And the rest, took it to a burnout comp a couple of months later with a crashed-in roof and had the time of my life. And it's snowballed since then.
Did you win?
No, I think I came second.
Yeah, Matt. What about yourself? What about yourself, Matt? Where did the skiddy start, and what was your first competitive burnout? And you remember it?
First competitive burnout was Summernats. The first year I put a blower on the car. Obviously before that, me old man is pretty hard but fair, so I was always too scared about coming home and losing my licence, which might have happened a couple of times, but I was always too scared about that. So, being a young bloke and wanting to play up, I just decided, well, how about I build the car to do the burnouts in the proper environment. So, got the blower on the car and took it to Summernats, and it was never ever supposed to be a burnout car, but after the first skid there and all the people, all the noise, everything, I just got way too excited, and then I was hooked. So that was it for me.
Yeah, right. Is that your first memory of Summernats, or had you been to Summernats before that as like a spectator?
No, going to Summernats, I think 2021 was one of my first. I was only a pretty young punk then. I didn't really have too many mates going or whatever. I just sort of through the few local blokes here, I got to know one of the guys, Tassie here. He'd been going since forever, and I didn't know him real great at the time, but another one of my mates sort of introduced me to him, said, "This is Matty, he wants to go to Summernats," and my mate Tassie said, "Yep, come along." So I went along for probably 2 or 3 years with him before I decided it was time to take a car. And honestly, the best times of my life. And you go away and you see some of the cars up there and whatever. For a young bloke who all I ever wanted to do was be in the car scene, it was sort of pretty surreal to go up there and then I just knew that I had to take something myself.
Yeah, I think everybody that goes as a spectator always then longs to want to go as an entrant. I think you just get that bug straight away. Absolutely. How about you, Lynchy? What's your first memory of Summernats?
I reckon the same. I went when I was about 20. A group of us went up. I reckon there was probably 6 or 8 of us. Took a couple of cars. And I remember still to this day getting there and walking around, and I could not believe that something like Summernats existed. It was just, out of this world to me, especially being from the country, having never seen something quite like that before. I'd been to car shows, but nothing quite like Summernats, where there's just something happening the whole time, everywhere. Yeah, absolutely. That was just phenomenal. And every year since then, I've always tried to go back. But I still don't think you can ever beat your first year. No way. I tell everyone that says they haven't been. Your first one will be your best one.
What about your first one as an entrant?
My first one was as an entrant. I think I took my Premier there, but as a burnout entrant, I took my Corolla there, Summernats 27, and was supposed to go in the wildcard comp, but nothing was happening. Nothing was going right in the lineup. So I took it back to the pits, and I managed to get it running right, and then promptly threw the rods onto the ground in the pits. So I'd say my first competitive burnout at Summernats was Summernats 28 in the wildcard.
No, you were coming back with a vengeance, mate. Wanted to smash tyres.
That's right. I had something to do. Yeah.
Well, can I ask what goes through your head just before you let go of the brake, mate, and head down for a tip in? What's happening?
Yeah. By the time that happens, like if you're on it and you just let go of the brake, it's all over. Your nerves are gone. You're just like, oh right, we're back here again. All right, I know what to do now. It's the bit before that, the 4 nervous squeeze you have just before that you have 4 drops with, all that sort of stuff. But as soon as your throttle goes, you're on. No, it's no worries after that.
And how about you, Matt? What's going through your head?
Yeah, very similar. I get no. Well, actually, it's funny you say, since when I drive the Corolla, I don't care because I don't care about the car. It's a bit of no frills fun. But every time I take the Tirana, I just get incredibly nervous, like to the point where I dry reach before I go out, especially, and the bigger the event, the worse it is. But as soon as you're out there, it's the best fun ever. And that's what hooks you. The adrenaline rush at the time, and that's what gets you. As soon as you're out there, it's the best thing ever. And even if you do a good skid when you drive off the other end and your mates are hanging off the fence, that's the best feeling ever.
What's your favourite? Yeah.
I'd just like to correct Lynchy. He lied because his last thoughts before he goes out is, woo, woo, yeah! That's what he does every time.
I have seen that in the onboards. I've seen that in the onboards. Lynchy, at Summernats 28, you did a triple 360 in the tip in. What's going on there? Nuts, eh?
Well, we talked about it for the year before. I was going to try it the year before, and my mate Frasher.
Yeah.
There you go, mate. I stepped it out to him. I said, "This is what I'm going to do." He's like, "You can't do that, mate. You're going to crash." I'm like, "Oh, I don't think so." So anyway, so the next year I went back and then just did it, and it just worked out. There was a bit of water on the pad, and it just spun in the right spots. But ever since then, I've been able to do it pretty well, the exact same. So I'm pretty happy with that.
It's kind of like your trademark, right, mate?
Yeah, tip right.
But yeah, so Matt, do you remember a favourite skid you had so far of all your skids?
Probably Summernats just gone. I sort of, in the car, I felt good about it. Like, I knew I'd sort of done everything I set out to do. But just for me, the best part was at the end. So I drove off, and so for many years now, I've sort of had the tradition with Lynchy is as soon as he's finished the skid, I run down and I throw him a VB over the fence and we skull it and we yip and yahoo and carry on like dickheads. But yeah, this time, him and a few other mates, good mate Easty and Stiffy, a few other boys were all on the fence and hanging off the fence going wild. So that's when I knew that I must have gone all right because those boys, they don't celebrate 202 like I do. And when they were hanging off the fence and going wild, I knew I must have gone good, and it just pumped me up so much. And just to have the boys there, and they threw a beer over to me, and we sculled a beer on the fence and had a good time. And to me, it's about having your mates involved and everything like that. So to drive off the pad and see them boys go wild, it just sort of made me appreciate what I was doing.
Yeah, I heard also once, if it's a true story, that there was a bit of a wild time had with the Tirana when Airborne was playing one time as well.
Yeah.
I think Andy's lucky that he only knows about the one, but there's been a few times. For many years, the goal was to drive into the mosh pit, and that year at Airborne, I reckon I would have just about got into the mosh pit if it wasn't for about 3 minutes of limiter. And the big security guards coming and saying, "Hey, mate, I think you've had enough."
No doubt. No doubt. So just in terms of the burnout scene that you guys are obviously a big part of and are in, I want to know about more than the burnouts, the friendship and stuff that brings, and the community that's within that. I see that all you guys have a really strong friendship, and whether you win or lose, it's not really the most important thing, I guess. Do you want to?
Absolutely. I'll touch on that. It's when I think about going to a burnout comp, it's not prize money or whatever else or, stature. I always think about the people you're going to catch up with, like Watsy. There's just crews everywhere you go. Like literally I can go anywhere in Australia right now to a burnout comp and know half the people there, and it's just the best feeling to know you're going to go somewhere, have mates, you're going to have someone to hang out with, or heaps of people to hang out with, however much you want. If you can keep it up for 5 days, I'm getting a bit old now and I'm getting a bit rusty, but Watsy, he's still a drinking athlete, so he's good for 5 days, don't you worry.
Nah, just following on from that too. That's to me, that's what makes it for us. Like, there's no way I'd be spending the time, effort, money to chase the dream that we chase if it wasn't for the people involved. Like, I've met some of the best people you'd ever meet through the car scene and in general, and then the burnout scene. Like the guys in our sort of that we knock around with and whatever, we're all sort of the same as what Lynchy said. It doesn't matter if we win, lose, draw, break shit. We're all there to help each other. Like, we might hang a bit of crap on each other and whatnot, but guarantee we'll party on into the AMs and have the best time ever. And that, to me, and even my missus, she loves coming along because the guys with similar interests and their girlfriends and everything, we all just get on so well, and that makes it what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. It's I think that even in a time like this, it's good that I hear a lot of you guys are still catching up and talking a lot, when you can't do that. So that's great that, mates can stick together. It's like the glue, I guess, Skids, the glue that sticks everybody together. I just want to touch on the US part, the US trip, Lynchy, that you did with Hoonigan and stuff. I just want to you want to give a little bit of a spiel about that and about what's going on there and how they received your Skids?
Well, see, everyone, as far as I can see, everyone sees the US trip was, I just went to Hoonigan. That was such a small part of what went on. So Gut from Power Cruise took me across to US for his show, and it's just, we went to, we did a few different things, but Hoonigan was one of them, which was probably the coolest one, to be honest. But yeah, they were just, they see cool stuff every day. So I rocked up there nervous as hell thinking, what's going to happen here? And they made me wait all day before I could do anything, and I was pacing up and down, and it got to the point where I'm like, oh, God, have you guys got any beers? So they didn't, so they went down and got a few beers. So we had a few beers before I did anything there, which took the edge off, which was, that was pretty good. But, yeah, as a whole, could not thank Gup enough for taking me over there. It was amazing.
And what were the people saying to you after they come up? Was the crowd, was the reception different there than at Summernats?
Well, I don't think, because when you finish a burnout and your tyres are off, your odds are in, you haven't hit anything, the adrenaline takes over sort of every other emotion that's going on at any point. So, yeah, I get pretty excited. And I think that they sort of weren't expecting that as much as what happened. So, yeah, they sort of thrived off that a bit. So, yeah.
I remember I was talking in the... you did tell me that you've got another Corolla in the build potentially that could come into the scene, I guess. Would it replace the one you have?
Well, I'd like to think it could coincide with the one I have. The one I've got is getting pretty old. I think it's been, what have I had it for? Maybe 12, 13 years. I've had the current one. I've crashed it countless times. Countless times. It's very bent underneath all that shiny paintwork and chrome.
The corners must be made paper mache by now, right?
Oh, I've got a couple of panel beaters that every time I ring them up and say, I've touched this again, they just put their head in their hands and say, oh dear, isn't it time for a new shell? And that was years ago. So yeah, we're still kicking on with it. But yeah, there's one in the build. I'm slowly tinkering away, and hopefully I can get it out in the next year, 18 months. I thought that this isolation job would give me a bit more time, but being a farmer, it hasn't changed a thing, so I haven't got much time at all. So,
any exclusives on the motor setup or anything like that?
No, well, I haven't made a definite plan. I'm not going to say it won't have a blower on it, but I'm not going to say it will, because I'd like to own a blown engine one day. There's a stigma around me at the minute not to go blown. So, yeah. Yeah,
fair play. And Matt, I know that you've got You've got a Corolla too. Would you say to give the LS thing a bit of a laugh, blow up? What's the story there?
So basically, because the Tirana's my first car, I care about it way too much. I should not even be doing burnouts in it. Like, I really do care about it way too much. It's seriously like my personality. If that thing's broken, I'm broken. Like, I walk around like a sad sack of shit. So. Yeah, like, if my missus says to me, she's like, if it's broken, just fix it. Like, so anyway, I built the Corolla for a bit of cheap fun, and the idea was that I'd do more with the Corolla and less with the Tirana, but it seems to be now I just been doubling up, and which is a bit dumb, but the Corolla is awesome, honestly. It's so, compared to the Tirana, it's a lot easier to drive, and just there's not the ramifications hanging above your head, like, even though the Tirana's only a 202 these days, there's that. It's not a cheap car anymore. It's, blown injected. There's a lot of money in it, whereas the Corolla's just cheap, fun, and I built it with spare parts I had laying around, and if I turned it into scrap metal tomorrow, I wouldn't care. Like, I'd pull the bits off it that I could and reuse them in something else. And I was actually only just, like, I'd love to even try and go further again with that car, just because I do have so much fun, because it's like, I don't care about it.
Yeah. I guess you wouldn't be shedding a tear there for the crawler who doesn't care about it, would you, Lynchy?
No, because you see, I care about as much about his mine as he does his. So, yeah, but mine just a bit shinier and I've had it a bit longer, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Well, I just want to say thanks heaps, guys, for coming on for this. Really appreciate you. You got some social media some guys can follow you on? Obviously you do.
Sorry, I was waiting for Lynch. Myself just got a page for the car, just Blow 202, because I got sick and tired of every time I come home from a comp, just people that I didn't know trying to add me and whatever. So just Blow 202 on Facebook, and I think I've got Instagram. I barely use it, so look it up. It'll be there somewhere.
Yeah, and I've got a page. Just look up Lynchy. I think that today's the last day of the merch sales, so if you get on it now, you might be able to get some good merch. Or I think we've got a pack coming up.
We do. We're giving away. So when the giveaways are done, Lynchy has been so kind to give away a merch pack along with the Street Machine pack. So that person's going to win tons of gear. We want to see them, wearing that stuff at Summernats this year, no doubt. I also just hear that you guys will be performing at Motorex potentially as well. So what's this year? So what's the go there? Chucking the skids at Motorex.
Yeah, well,
Andy. Oh, you go. Yep.
Yeah, sorry, Paul. I've gone the last 2 years as just a display.
Yeah.
And I reckon Andy's ears are still ringing because the drifters are there, and I'm going. And both years I pack stockies, and I'm in Andy's ear for it's a 2-day event, and I reckon of those 2 days I was in his ear for 3. But yeah, I'm going. Why can't we go do a skid? Why can't we go do a skid? So I think he received my message, because he called me a couple of weeks ago and said, "Hey, you'd be happy to know that we've got the go-ahead to do a few demos this year." So I'm pretty pumped about that.
Yeah, mad. What about you, Lynchy? Pumped for that?
Yeah, same. So he got onto me before the one that has to have been postponed, and I give him the go-ahead. So he rang me up very apologetic that he had to change the date, and hoped it didn't interfere with my busy schedule. And I think we're going to be on for Motorex in, I can't remember if it was October or November, but we're on.
November, yeah. At this stage, yep. November, yep. For sure. And
Fantastic.
I think the burnout things at Motorex are because of you, Matt. maybe potentially getting in. You wear one of Andy's eardrums out, and me and Webby wear the other one out. I think that's how that works.
I'll lay claim to it anyway, and I'm sure he'll back me up, because, geez, I gave him a hard time.
Yeah, well, I think everybody can be pumped for a little bit of Summernats at Motorex, that's for sure, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So.
Absolutely. Well, thanks, guys. We're going to be back soon with a bit of a quiz, which is going to have Lynchy and Rick Fuller. Actually, while I mentioned Rick Fuller, I believe Rick's also doing a burnout at Motorex as well. So there's going to be a bit of a thing there. So if you love burnouts, Motorex is definitely something to check out. But after this, we're also going to have the quiz, the Mad Quiz, with Lynchy and Rick Fuller going at it to see who's going to be the king of that. Thanks for coming on, guys.
No, unreal. Thank you.
All right, Mad. We're going to cut to a skid break and we'll be back soon.
Skid ad.
This skid ad is brought to you by Maguire's.
Now, this man, number 6 to come out in our top 10. Steve Edsel from Shepparton in Victoria. Huge tube, small block Ford with massive revs.
What a moment it's been to get him to here right now in the Burnout Masters top 10, going through the top 30 yesterday, which he got his golden ticket from last year's Burnout Championship. So he's gone through nearly 300 competitors to be here inside this top 10 right now. A massive ask for Steve Edsel, who's bringing his A game.
Well, Steve hasn't been on the national scene too often this year. He's competed in a couple. I think went up to Northern Nats in the far north of Queensland, did the Ultimate Burnout Challenge, maybe Nats in Victoria. But apart from that, he's been relatively quiet on the scene, although, man, he's letting the old skid ute do the talking for him right now.
got to keep the momentum up. Smoke scores are through the roof, but
Yeah.
just got to keep driving that car, using the pad. Joe just want to see movement. Oh, Bell
Smoke
flapping
starting
around.
to thin out just a tad. It's been super thick prior till now, but now it's just starting to thin out a touch. One tyre off the back of the Skid Ute XC Ford Ute.
Easily cleared the 60-second barrier, so not going to be too many deductions here. Good skid, Steve Edsel.
None for my mind, that's for sure.
All right, we're back here with Lynchy and Rick Fuller. What's happening, guys? Chilling?
Just chilling.
Ready for the mad?
VB.
Having a VB. Ready for the mad quiz?
100%.
All right, this is how it works. I'll ask 3 questions. First, the buzz in gets to answer. If you get it wrong, the other person gets to answer. If you get the answer wrong, you're banned from Summernats for 5 years. So just think about that. All right, that's pretty cool.
Been there, done that. Anyway, get going.
Lynchy, apparently, your buzzer is sorry. Apparently,
Let me guess, mine's third.
yours third place.
Yeah, fuck off. Yeah, no worries.
Oh, fantastic.
All right, you're both playing for people that are in the YouTube comments. So there's going to be 3 questions, obviously, and first to buzz in and answer those. Rick, you're playing for Seb, and Lynchy, you're playing for Holden Fan. So there you go.
Holden Fan. Yeah, I got a Holden. Yeah, sweet.
All right, you guys ready to go? Give us a buzzer test. You want to give him a run?
Sorry.
All right, Mad. All right, question 1. Who won Grand Champion at Summernats 33, and can you name the car?
Buzzer's broken.
Both buzzers are broken. All right, sorry.
Get on the Google.
All right, the answer is Todd Sorensen in the 1967 Chevy Impala. All right, you both banned. All right, let's go to question 2.
Yeah, no idea.
I reckon you'll know this one. What is the name of the bar that looks over Skid Row?
Sorry.
Oh. Go.
VB bar.
Nah.
What?
Wrong.
Cougar Bar.
You get it, Rick. Rick's 1-0. One question to go.
Bring back the VB bar.
All right, what year was Skid Row first introduced?
Sorry.
Lynch.
2019.
All right, we got a tie. All right. Does anybody know, did Dale Hyler in the VX Commodore get over 3,000 horsepower in the dyno run this year? Yes or no?
No.
Sorry. Yes.
Lynchy, you take it out, mate.
Oh, yeah, that was the 50-50, like.
You got second though, Rick. There's no third here, mate.
I haven't got the second place trophy, so I'm actually wrapped with that. Thanks.
You got a second one. That's mad to throw in the cabinet now.
Yes, I've got the set.
Silver, a lot of bronze, a silver and 1 gold. Two golds. Sorry, what am I talking about?
Yeah, that's right, mate.
2 golds. Absolutely.
Forget.
So just to touch on Motorex again, you guys pumped to do a skid, Rick? I didn't get to get you in there before.
Yeah, can't wait. I reckon that'll be a real big buzz with in a normal spot where you're not supposed to be doing skids is always more fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%.
I'll give that a correct buzzer. All right. Thanks for participating in the quiz, guys. Really appreciate you guys coming on the show as well. Take it easy. Stay cool. No doubt we'll see you soon.
Thank
Good
you
on
very
you,
much.
Jay Benz. Thanks for having us.
No worries, man. No worries. We're going to cut to a skid break and we'll be back.
All right.
This skid ad is brought to you by Visit Canberra. Mad.
3 cars and 2 drivers remain. Graham Rowe is one of them. And he's about to hit the pad in Gamble. His second time at Summernats. His first time in the top 10.
Well, the Queenslander normally does fly.
Overcooked it.
Overcooked it in a big way. Normally, of course, used to fly the flag with the maroon tyres. But this time has gone with the yellow and striking blue combos. But that was just shocking for the Queenslander. He knows that is the end. He still might place enough to get himself back into the Masters for 2020.
Yeah, that was a real shame.
It is a shame indeed.
Because stopping is 10, reversing is 10, so there's a chance they could ping him 20 points for that.
Absolutely.
He's gone back on with the job here. Smoke scores have been monstrous. Fair old haze going on right now.
You can see that smoke starting to thin just a little, which means that the tyres are in fact starting to go away. I think I just heard one off the back for Graham Road. This 372 cube small block Ford powered XE Falcon has done an incredible job, all bar that major.
Okay, welcome back, Webby. What's happening, bud?
Man, that was pretty crazy, actually. You know what I found really interesting, that all the different tribes at Summernats, they just really focus on their own thing. And the Burnout guys, they didn't know who was the grand champion. They didn't even know about the dyno. So yeah, it is. But it's like that, isn't it? There's people just come and do their own thing at Summernats.
I think even if you went through an Olympian village and asked who won the 100-metre race, if you were in, javelin, you wouldn't know maybe potentially. You're so focused. Yeah. The sport's so, and there's a lot to think about. When you're going to hit the skid pad, there's little time for anything else. That's for sure. Yeah. We are here for our big competition. Just before that, last week's winner was Jacob Lloyd, who answered Rob Beecham, who was the grand champion at Summernats 1. You've won 2 Haltech hoodies, so you can wear not 1 but 2, because it's going to be super cold this winter apparently. And this week, so we're giving away a K&N cabin air filter. K&N cabin air filters are designed to filter incoming air using state-of-the-art filtration, helping to protect your vehicle's occupants and interior from nasties. Owen, what is the question to win that prize?
The question, it's a 2-part question this week. So
right.
I want to know, when we've got the top 100 skids from Summernats, when are they going to air? And the second part of the question is, how many skids will be featured in the 100 skid competition?
Pretty good. So it's a pretty hard question, mate.
Yeah, so shoot your answers into podcast@summernats.com.au.
Absolutely, and we'll announce the winner on next week's show. All right, you know him by his name, Marv. He's from Street Machine. He's here. How are you, mate?
Oh, I'm not doing too bad, guys. How are you guys going?
All good.
Very good. Very good, mate. Very good. Just chilling.
Just what have you guys been up to this week so far? You've just been tinkering on those VLs, J-Bens, and you've been ticking off jobs, Owen, on your project car?
Yeah, I have been doing that, but I've also been, you might have heard me say, I've been doing a couple of really good interviews with some couple of the top builders from the US, which we're going to feature in the next few weeks.
I haven't
those US guys. Yeah. I've got to say, I'm very lucky to have met Trepania and the Ring brothers very briefly at SEMA a few years ago, and geez, they're such nice guys. Like, for the cars they turn out, you think they must be prima donnas or something. Like, they're always on the cover of Hot Rod, and they're building for the rich and famous, but they're genuinely the nicest guys you could meet.
Yeah, absolutely, and that will really come across in the interview, and it was great. It was just actually a real thrill to interview both of them.
Yeah, I haven't. To answer your other question, I haven't been fixing the cars that I should be. I've been playing iRacing, which I shouldn't be doing that either. I should be on the real cars.
I'm not. Look, J-Benz, I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed, bro.
I'm with you, mate. I'm disappointed in me too.
You should be in the VLs down there at South Beach at Wollongong with your 22 by 3 inch Simmons FRs on them. 45 feet off the ground, like a good, Sydney scene car should be.
My Kenwood 7x7, my Kenwood 7x10s on the rear parcel shelf.
Nick Skits Mixmaster 47 CD player, absolutely booming out through your twin Alpine 17-inch subwoofers in the boot.
I was listening to the Mega Mix today. Absolutely. There's a new issue of Streety out, mate. Looks pretty rad.
Yeah, this bad boy. So we've got some genuine Street Machine Summernats history on the cover. So this little tiny photo here of this little yellow Falcon. The red one and the yellow one are the one and the same. So basically the story is that Mr. George Anthony turned up to the first Summernats with this absolutely killer Falcon, and Sam Gauci actually found that car a few years ago. It was when I spoke to him at Summernats. He said that it was sitting in a backyard in Adelaide. It was just abandoned, and he found the car and he saved the car. Simon Major's done a killer story on it. There's so much history there. Sam had his own amazing Ford Ute back in the day with Predators and big tubs and stuff like that. And he actually used to compete against that Falcon back in the day. So,
right,
yeah, just an amazing story. And we also got, I heard you mention Todd Sorensen's Impala before.
Yeah,
we got a full feature on that bad boy in the new mag. We've got a crazy blown GTO from Summernats. That's a HSV GTO, not a Pontiac GTO. All the three people who just got excited that like Pontiacs in Australia. Sorry. But no, we got heaps of great stuff. You know, there's heaps of radial racing. There's tech, and the guys have done a really, really killer job again this month.
Yeah, awesome, man, awesome. What have you been balling up, mate? Rant wise.
I think I said it a few weeks ago. Look, I've been trying to be like live a calmer life. Went and saw the doctor, and they're like, "Hey, Marv, your blood pressure's a little bit high. Maybe lay off the red meat and try to calm down a bit." And if there's one thing I'm not doing, like if I can't go out to the pub, I'm not laying off the red meat. Don't take my entire life away from me, guys. So I decided I'd try to be a calmer, better person. And then I read the YouTube comments. Like, I cannot fathom what goes through people's minds when they log into their YouTube account, watch a video, and then say it's just drivel. Like, we know you like Barras. We know you like LSs. We know some people like drag cars. Some people like lifted trucks. Some people like lowered trucks. The world is a rich and vast tapestry of interests. Some people like country music. Some people like rap music. You know, not everyone who doesn't like what you like is a moron. And you know what? Like, just have
They're
a
little
laugh.
bit like Facebook comments, aren't they? A little bit.
Oh, just. You know what? Like, YouTube has brought the world together, and I'm guilty of being on YouTube on a couple of YouTube shows, and you know, we've hacked together some cars and whatnot, and yeah, fair enough. Like, have a go at my Sawzall technique, or the fact that I was alleged to have been leaning over a running big block Chrysler with a Corona in one hand and a bottle full of petrol in the other, and might have got a little bit confused as to which one was the beer and which one was the petrol. But everyone gets confused after 19 beers. But anyway, like, just I can understand someone hacking on that, but like, there's videos that like kids are making videos and they're putting, you know, everyone's proud of their car, and it might not be to your taste. Like, I'm never going to be the kind of guy who goes out there and fawns over a Hyundai Excel on 20-inch chromies with a fake snakeskin leather interior, but that's someone's pride and joy. You know, like, just go easy a little bit, guys. Particularly at the moment, we're all in this together.
Hopefully, some of the people who make good comments or made good comments tonight in the podcast, and I believe we're going to give them some prizes. What do you reckon, Marv?
Yeah, well, I've my magical internet fairies have actually worded me up on who the prize winners are. So, if your name happens to be Anthony Harris, Joshua Vella, and Aaron Jensen, then you've each won yourselves a single season pass to Summernats. So, get on the digicalls and get in touch with the boys. What's the email address?
podcast@summernats.com.au.
Okay, so the big exciting news this week, however, apart from the fact that my blood pressure is through the roof and set a new national record after reading YouTube comments, Gail C. Harris, congratulations, because you have won yourself a Lynchy merch pack full of sweet street swag. You've also won a Street Machine merch pack, so you're going to be drowning in fresh threads. You've also won a double season pass to Summernats, so you're having a bloody good Tuesday night. It's like scoring free sauce with your sausage roll.
Absolutely, like getting 2 snags on 1 piece of bread at Bunnings, right?
You got it,
mate. Getting the onions on top. That'll be next week. Bring back the onions on top, Bunnings. I'm coming for you.
Cook something up for us, mate. We appreciate having you on.
Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you in the same Bat channel next week.
Thanks,
indeed, mate. Absolutely. See you, bud. Bye, mate. What's happening, Owen? You're not falling asleep over there, mate? You're pumped?
No. You know what I found really interesting there? He's talking about unveiling George's brand new car at Motor X this year.
Wow, okay.
How about that from his yellow car, his yellow Expert, the first first Summernats, and now we're unveiling this new Mustang. So awesome.
That seems like a really cool story. That car was found and whatnot, and
yeah. And I knew Sam pretty well. He had a great XY ute at the time. So yeah. Great. It's funny how it's all cyclical. All goes in cycles, mate.
Absolutely. So during the week, we asked people to send through images to our hashtag Write It Out situation. So here's a picture we received during the week. It's a silver Caprice Holden, and it's got a nice set of wheels there. It's looking pretty fresh. So we appreciate everybody that's in the out in the garage sending us photos. If you've got photos that you want to send us, you want to feature it on the podcast, or we might put it on Instagram or put it on Facebook or etc. You could please send those to podcast@summernats.com.au. Owen, talking about punters, I believe you've got some punters that you want to show us from 4 events that we've got coming up.
Absolutely. We, as you know, every week we have an entrant from one of our major events. So this week we're going to feature for the Red Summernats entrant number 164, Barry Fielding, in his beautiful EH Holden sedan, and that event looks like going ahead. So we'll keep you updated on that. Motor X, we've got Kathy Bentnick. She's got the black FE Holden, really cool car from South Australia. That was a great looking car, so looking forward to seeing that. That'll obviously be down in the Streeterlee Hall there. And then Summernats, we've got entrant 465, Carolyn Borg with a red HQ Coupe. And then Rocky Nats, Easter next year's number 752, Scott Black with his Wild Violet XW sedan. And he's from Longroute, so it'll be a great trip over for him to Rocky. So listen, keep those entries coming in. Yeah, me too. So keep those entries coming in to guarantee your spot in one of our top 4 events in Australia.
Absolutely. And don't forget that Summernats 2021 tickets and entries are on sale now. I know that I'm super pumped for Summernats. I'm super pumped for everything. I'm super pumped for Motorex, Red Summernats, the whole kit, Webby. I think it's going to be.
Yeah.
We need these to get out of here and get to these events.
Yeah. All this what we're doing here is good, and the interviews and the stuff we've got coming up, and the top 100 skids. Look, it's fantastic. But nothing like getting back to those events all there. Absolutely,
mate. And don't forget that if you're watching now on YouTube, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, or if you're listening to us on a podcast, please subscribe to that podcast channel as well. Wherever you can get this podcast, wherever you get all Mad audio podcasts, obviously. Mad, that's right. On a serious note, while we're all locked away, like all the guys we've had on today, and like Webby and I do, and like other people do, reach out to your mates and talk to them and make sure that they're okay. There's no, it costs nothing to pick up the phone, check that people are doing well, and, touch base. I know, Webby, you said you've been doing that recently as well.
Very much so. Yeah, really important at this time.
Absolutely. So this Sunday as well at 2 p.m, there is the top 100 Summernats skids. It's going to be on at 2 p.m. on the YouTube channel. So make sure you tune into that. And that's going to be a cracker. I know that I'm looking forward to that. And you might see a few surprises in there, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic.
Awesome. Well, that's pretty much number 5. Thanks for listening or watching. Don't forget, again, to hit subscribe and like this post on our YouTube channel. It really helps. And you can pick this podcast up in all formats wherever you find Mad podcasts. Don't also forget that the official Burnout Masters game is just had a really good update, and it's on both Android and Apple app stores. So get on there and smash some tyres and get that going. All right, that's it. We'll see you next Tuesday.
Fantastic. Cheers.
All right, on podcast 6, Kyle from 1320 Video, Troy Trepania, Commodore King Damien Chubby Lowe, and the Burnout Masters game creator, Tim. Plus, we've got Marv from Street Machine, loads of mad stuff to give away, and more. Webby and I will catch you Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Mad.